All right. So now we have the wonderful, the one and only Miss Heather Rios is here with us
There's
today,
Heather.
who went from being my favorite candidate to my favorite client to, to just a good friend. Let's bring her on.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Can you see me? Yep, I'm good. How's it going?
Hey.
Hey,
Going
Heather.
good.
Good, good. I'm glad. I love
so
listening
so
to you.
Oh, I know. She's so fun. But let me first, we need to congratulate you. So Heather shared some very exciting news with me. She landed a position this
Oh,
week.
yeah.
I
Yay!
Oh, we
did.
got to
Yes.
put that out today after this show. We got to put that out on the Who You Know Job Networking show.
That's right. We got to congratulate her.
Yeah, it was a journey. I have to say, first time in my life. It's been a month since I was out of work, which never happens, but it was actually a blessing in disguise for me. So it was really a good time for me to disconnect with Catherine as my really good encourager to do so. But yeah, it was brutal. I'm not going to lie to you. Listening to Michaela just now and working with recruiters myself in this position, it was kind of eye opening for me. I'm not going to lie to you. I know Catherine and I've shared a lot of struggles with you with recruiters, but it's also made me be the best HR manager out there for the new company to not do what other recruiters did to me. So
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
100%. In fact, and I will share this with my audience. Heather had one experience that was so bad that I was moved to reach out to that recruiter and send them a message and just go, hey, this was really messed up. I hope that
Oh,
you and
wow.
this is I hope that you change. It was not okay. It was a really, really bad experience. And it's something that could easily have traumatized a lesser person than Heather. Heather is particularly strong and particularly
Heather's
resilient.
an
But
HR.
she is, oh yeah, she's an HR. She's an HR professional. But it could have shattered a lesser person. So, I mean, good grief. Like, what is wrong with people? So, that communication thing,
Yeah.
treating people with dignity. But Heather, so you and I have been through a lot of negotiations together.
yes, we have. Yes, we have.
From negotiating your salary and your onboarding package to many candidates after that. So, let's start with what are some of the most important things on the company side when you're going into an offer to consider?
Sure. So, companies really have to be ready. HR is kind of the last person to get a budget, which is really frustrating for me, as Catherine knows, as my number one recruiter. When I go into a company, when I start recruiting, I ask, where's my budget? Because I need to know. I need to know exactly what I'm looking for.
Right.
I rewrite that job description because it's easy for somebody just to throw words on a piece of paper and then say, this is what we want. But I really take the time to make sure that I know that compensation package, for that specific job and that specific job title. So it's
Mhm.
really important to A, understand your business, B, have a budget, C, have all of the executives on the same page as you. That's the number one rule.
That's number one.
Number one, because if you don't have, you have one executive who is out of it, you're just going to be, stuck. That's unfortunate. I've sat in many, 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 many meetings with that. Also open and be honest with your managers as well. Ask them
Mhm.
exactly what they're looking for, because sometimes leadership will say exactly what they're looking for, but
Hmm.
managers kind of don't have a say in that as well. So they're like, that's not what I'm looking for to run my department. So always just have that communication. That's huge, communication. Number two, I would say the biggest thing as well is understanding, again, the compensation for your area,
Mhm.
for the size of your company, for the education behind this job, and how many years
Mhm.
experience a candidate has. But then also look at, are we a startup? Have we been
Yes.
in the Bay Area for a long time? We're in the Bay Area, but we have multiple remote locations all over the U.S. How are we going to deal with
Mhm.
that as well? So,
Right. 100%.
yeah. So ultimately, it's up to your HR advocate to put together that package for your VP of finance or your finance department, so that they understand, as an HR advocate, what you need from them going forward. So once I share that
100%.
again, It's just, getting together with the executive team, making sure that we're all on the same page, and then running with it before you even throw out that you're looking for an opportunity. Because here's what I cannot stand. If you're a recruiter and you don't have this job lined up with either another client or within the company, please don't advertise it.
Yeah.
Because what's happening, and I saw this a lot this month too, is what's happening is, well, we're kind of making this role. Totally get that, and I understand that 100%. However, it makes somebody like myself, who's a seasoned professional, not want to work with you then. Because it makes me think that if you couldn't have put together my own job description and what you're looking for in the company, what am I in there, right? So it's really important to have your ducks in a row as
we lost Heather. There she is. She came back to us.
There we go. Just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. You have all of your ducks in a row. All of your compensation packages are there. I highly recommend using PayScale. I know there's other. I love PayScale. I do.
I do too. Yeah.
I think that it's the best analytical, around the whole entire U.S. It's not just within.
And if you have an unusual position, and Heather, you and I worked some of these together that were very unique, reach out to other people in that position that are working and find out what people are making. People will talk to you. Go, hey, I'm a recruiter. I'm trying to build up this job description.
That's why we have a network. That's right.
Yes, because let me tell you, there were a couple of times that Heather, would send me a budget, and I'd go, "Are you sure?" Because it wasn't her fault. It's that somebody told her this was a reasonable salary, and I said, "Nope, that's not it."
Yep.
So you're absolutely right. And with the offer, guys, too, this is something that Heather did that I thought was spectacular. She would come to me before sending an offer letter, before calling that candidate, and say, Catherine, what is it going to take to get them to sign the offer? Because once I send that letter, I don't want to negotiate. I don't want to do anything else. I want to know what they need, and let's get it done. I highly recommend that approach to companies. I highly recommend that approach. Know before you get to the point of offer what's going on. And candidates, this falls on you too. Communicate accurately. What drives me nuts, and I never let a candidate get away with this, is, well, we'll see how I feel when we get there. No.
Oh my God. Yeah. I've heard that one myself.
Also, I want to encourage candidates too. It's our job to go in and play ball for you. So it's our job. And I always tell them too, I say, I'm your biggest cheerleader. So just throw out a number to me. I can't ask you what you're making right now, but what would your salary expectations be? And in a real world, a beautiful world, what would you look for in a compensation package? Because then I can play off of that. Like, don't tell me something like, well, I don't want to, I don't want to price myself out. I don't want to too high. Stop doing that. You are worth everything that you think you're worth.
Yes.
You have to show that recruiter, that HR person, that I'm worth this. So coming in and saying, I'm not going to go below $100,000. Okay, great. That's a great baseline. Let's talk about that. Let's build on that. But stand up for yourself, and say, have your worth. Show somebody your worth. That goes
100%. 100%. And Jean-Pierre just asked a question about, and by the way, I love how interactive you are, dude. About are people trying to lowball right now salaries because of COVID? There are some weirdos out there doing that. Not gonna lie, there are some people out there doing it, and there are some companies that are pulling that whole, we'll come in the door and then later we'll give you a raise. Whenever a company says that to you, even the ones that mean it, the ones that really truly mean it, it's still not a healthy approach, and it still tells you something about the company. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to set a specific timetable, and Heather and I have had to put this in offers for people. And actually, at my insistence too, I've done this for my candidates, to have a specific timetable. At 90 days, we'll have a review with a chance to get up to this increase. Have that in your offer letter. Set a time frame. Don't let it be general, because here's what's going to happen. You will get in the door and they will hem and haw and postpone, and it will never happen. Even if they intend for it to, it just won't, because they get busy. Entrepreneurs get busy, managers get busy, and it just won't happen. So make
And it
sure all of that
raises the
gets into your
candidate
offer letter.
morale. Your
Yes.
morale is not the best upon entry into that job.
That's right.
You see
100%.
what you may
Yeah.
have to deal with, and you're scared. Am I going to be able to do my job? All the jobs that I took, my number one questions that I asked were, guys, are you going to put handcuffs on me? Are you going to allow me to do what I do to make it successful?
Right.
Right.
That's
Right.
wonderful.
That's huge.
Yeah, totally agree with that 100%. It's very, like I said, it's just you have to make sure that you are there and you're the one that's, doing what's great for the company and for the candidate and making sure that it's a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have to make sure that they're compensated well as,
Right.
I have to say, I want to say about 15 interviews at 15 different companies in a month. And 3 of them gave me the salary package, 3 out of 15. And that wasn't even me asking. And that was after, I have to say it, that was after the 4th panel interview.
Wow.
So it's definitely getting a lot more. Here's the other thing I want to tell recruiters too. Don't drag it out. Sorry.
Oh, yes. Do not do that. Oh,
Don't drag
yes.
it out. Do
No.
not drag it out. So I had one interview with, the panel interviews had 2 people apiece. So I was up to my 5th 2-people panel, and I had 3 more.
Wow.
If I made it to it took about 3 weeks. So I get it. There's talent everywhere, and you get to pick from the cream of the crop. But come on,
it doesn't take that long to make a hiring decision. Give me a break. Any company, even with unless you are hiring the CEO of your company, I don't want to hear anything about 5 steps. That's
right.
Ludicrous. There is no 5 steps. Okay, no, there is. For a customer service type person, or that level of 1. Okay, that's how many in person or Zoom in this case meetings there need to be. Okay, management 2, maybe 3. Okay, director level 3. Stop.
Right.
Okay, and then stop. Don't drag it out. And with the offers too, when you take a long time to get an offer to a candidate, that looks bad. Even if you end up getting them, they've lost all momentum, all enthusiasm. Trust me, I see it all the time. Heather and I have had to deal, and it was not her fault. I just want to caveat that statement. The one time that ever happened with Heather, it was not her fault. And I know, Foster, you've dealt with this. It kills momentum, and it brings them in with the whole wrong energy. And candidates, the flip side of that is, do not be difficult when it comes time for offer. Don't go, oh, I forgot to tell you, I scheduled a 1-month vacation 2 weeks from now. Sound familiar, Heather? Not that you did that, but we had a candidate that did that to us. Do not do that. Do not do that. Tell them up front. Be upfront.
Yeah. Yeah, be upfront. We don't need any surprises, because if you're giving me surprises at this point in my engagement with you, they're going to be surprises when I go to work, and they're going to be surprises. They're not going to allow me to be able to do what you hired me to do.
That's right.
Yes, and I will tell you, I have had clients that will pull an offer because a candidate suddenly starts giving new information at the time of offer, and it's not even that they weren't okay with what they were asking; it's that all of a sudden the story changed. And that was the problem. And don't tell people one number during the interview process and then change it at offer. And don't tell, because you're going to know before the offer comes where the job's at. I will give you another one, candidates. This is my pet peeve. Don't tell me when I send you the offer letter. By the way, all of my candidates know an offer letter is coming because we've verbally negotiated and all that. Don't tell me I need to talk to my spouse. Why did you not already do that? What is wrong with you? You should have already, when you were going through the interview process, you should have talked to your spouse. When I was going back and forth negotiating this with you, you should have talked to your spouse. Don't tell me that when you get to the offer letter stage. What's wrong with you? Come on, people.
Right.
Come on.
I think it's really important. I think everybody goes back to old school ways. That to me is old school ways. Well, let me talk to my spouse and get back to you. Yeah. Do you hear not to put a male female spin, but do you ever hear a male say, "Let me talk to my spouse and get back to you"? It's very
actually yes, but rarely.
I have to. It's rare, but
it's about a 70-30 Splits, yeah.
Like me, I'll use me as an example because this is the freshest example that I had. But every single interview that I studied for, because when I go on interviews, I learn the company, I learn who who I'm meeting with, so that if they throw a monkey wrench at me and ask me, "Have you looked at my website? Do you know what we do?" I know everything. Just so I'm prepared. But also, talk to your significant other, talk to your partner, talk to them afterwards and tell them how it went. That's the beautiful part about interviewing, is that the world is all yours, right? You get to go and meet all these new people. You get to get out there. You get to, show your talents and just talk to people afterwards and let them know how it goes. I've talked to Catherine afterwards. I've talked to my girlfriends. I've talked to other people. Like, I had the weirdest interview, or I had the best interview, or I think I answered this question, correctly or not. Talk to each other. Reach out on LinkedIn. I've met so many great people on LinkedIn, I would say, over this past month looking for a job. Talk.
Absolutely. Whoop, my camera. I'm sorry. My camera just died. Woo. Catherine just fell off the face of the earth. That's what happened.
Companies, guys, listen to this, please. Companies, if you have a pipeline candidate like Heather Rios, show some excitement about if you know that Heather is what we're shooting for, show some excitement. Don't be a robot. Show some excitement. Yes. You're not giving away anything. Tell Heather what excites you about your position, what's expected of Heather, why you think Heather would be a good fit in that position, or something like that. Give Heather some moxie.
Right. 100%. And recruiters, what I do, and HR professionals, what I do is I circle back at the end of an interview. Obviously, I let them ask their questions and all that, but then I go over with them. Okay, so these are the things that I feel like line up really great. Right. Culturally, this is why I think you'll fit in. And then, but here's some concerns, some gray areas, we'll kind of see how that pans out. And I'm real straightforward with people. And I really encourage that. And candidates, if you're not getting that, ask the recruiter at the end. Yes. Hey, what do you think? What's your feel? You work with this company, or you're part of this company. What is your take on how I would fit in to this position and into this organization? Ask those questions. That's so important.
Another thing too is that when you're interviewing as well as a candidate for these positions, always ask. It doesn't matter if you're going to do a panel and you're going to ask several people. I always engage my whomever's interviewing me, and I always ask, tell me something. If you were to hire me, or when I'm hired, usually I'll say, when I'm hired, what would be the first 90 days that you see that I need to tackle within the organization? Right. That is a great question, because they go, oh, wow, shoot, they just put me, against the wall there, and usually I'll say, so when I'm hired, first 90 days, what would you expect me to start focusing on? What would you like to see change in the first 90 days? That
100%.
Pandora's box, where they're like, wow, she's really thinking about this and making a change when she comes in, or he, comes into. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't ask a CEO, so what's your goal in 5 years? Say, don't ask those questions. Kind of get a little bit, you're interviewing them too, right? We're all interviewing somebody because we're there more than we're with our family. We need to make sure it's a good fit. Make sure that you're just asking the right questions to the right people.
Yes. And 100% on that. And also, I will further that and say, recruiters do not ask cookie cutter, lame questions to the candidates. Okay? Don't do it. Yeah. Nobody cares what tree they want to be. Okay? Nobody cares. Nobody cares what their goal is in 5 or 7 years. Ask them who they are, what they're, what they've got, what they can bring, those type of things. And the best question to start off an interview, and I do this with every interview, is I ask the candidate, tell me what's important to you in your next role. Or I say that to them. Tell me what's important to you in your next role. That will tell you so much. First of all, that will tell you where their priority is, because the first thing out of their mouth is what's really on their mind. Is it culture? Is it PTO? Is it remote? Is it money? Whatever their priority is, that will come out first. And so that's a great way to start an interview. And then you filter it from there. You go on. Do not sit there with some lame list of questions and go down it and sound like a robot. Okay, it's weird. And you're also missing information. You're missing information, recruiters and HR people, when you do that.
You're so missing. I love interviewing people. I know Catherine thinks I'm crazy. I love it. I mean, I should be a recruiter for a living. But I love interviewing people. I have such a great way.
I do too, Heather. Yeah.
It's so great to know. And I tell them, I'm not the big bad wolf. Let's take a deep breath before you meet with me. It's just you and I getting to know each other. I need to know if it's a good culture fit for the company. We're not going to talk tech. We're not going to talk all of that, because you'll get that with the other managers. That's just you and I have a conversation. And then
right. And I'm gonna cut you off real quick because we're at the end of your time. Sorry. I love you and I could talk to you all day long. But we do need to let you go. And guys, connect with Heather Rios on LinkedIn. We'll drop her profile into the comments. She will reach out to you. She will connect with you. She will talk to you. Of course, Foster and I, please connect with us. Recruiters, HR professionals, we're here for you too. Job seekers. And then also, guys, if you are looking for a position, go to careerlaunch2020.com. We have a lot of great integrations there. And thank you, Heather.
Bye.
Congratulations, Heather.